Hello everyone, Drunken Wolf here, and this is Skycraft with Blockception, which is my new title. Anyway, I'm doing this simply because my series is called Skycraft, yet it is on the Blockception server, so it's really hard to bounce between the two, but I think I've finally got it set out. Anyway, I've done a fair bit of work off camera, nothing major. So what I've done so far, you can see I have some more chests down here. They are my wood chests mainly, because I gathered up some wood. I will also show you, I improved my cobblestone farm. I'm quite proud of how I did it. Okay, I think, yeah, Benold is on, so I will see if he's in the nether, hopefully. Ah, no, he's not. Oh, well, it looks like we'll build at night. That's okay. Now, quickly show the cobblestone farm. I managed to do this by accident. Actually, I did two things by accident. First of all, I have increased my petrified lake size. I spilt a little lava. And secondly, this stone block here. As you saw in the last episode, I was getting 6 pieces of cobblestone per batch, I suppose. So half a dozen per, yeah. Put them in the oven and that's how they come out. Anyway, now that I have this extra, it's the exact same process. You can see I changed it around a little. Now, wait for it to go down and spread out. Come on. There we go. Then you put the water in. I've also tweaked with this area. So now I can stand right in front of it and be taking advantage of water taking the shortest route off the ledge. I actually have it just doing this, as you can see. So I can stand here, it doesn't wash me away. I had that problem at first. I have to put this torch one stick higher because it was washing away my torch every time. But now, as you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 per batch. So, placing one piece of stone here, which I actually did by complete accident. I accidentally put the lava in the water straight away. So basically I did this, then this. I'm like, oh no, I've got to turn it off, Oh. There we go. Yeah, see, it just turned the stone in there. Anyway, I have an idea. Okay, that could be bad. Please, oops. Oh no, I did it again. Oh no. There it goes. Oh, poo. I'm getting so much trouble for this. I actually had just a little while ago, Ben, our server owner, decided to swing by. Just built a little ladder up to my house and I got a little grouchy at him, so on his way down I dug a hole and I dumped a bucket of lava on him. You know, because the lava was so slow, he had no problem moving out of the way. But he should have really caught it. Like, if I was at the cobblestone, he should have really, because he's going down, he should have built a little catch like this so it actually would have stopped. But instead, he just got out of the way and let it go down, and I set the forest on fire. So I was nice, I poured a bucket of water down afterwards, but then there's this massive cobblestone monument down here. Yeah, you can see where it's all dead. That was the area that it happened. As soon as it's going down, he's just gone, I'm not cleaning this up. I'm like, well, I'm stuck up here, so it's not my problem. And they ended up coming around after and digging away most of it. So I'm sure you also probably saw, look at it go. You also probably saw this other platform I have down here just before when I turned around. I was trying to hide it, but I failed a little bit. Considerable size, quite a shadow. They've actually decided to light it up because it became a bit of a no-go zone during the day. This is what is going to be my new tree farm. As you can see, I put a couple of this wood back. I actually used some iron for shears, so I've dipped into my iron supply. I thought I had a shovel. That's okay, I'll break it with my bucket. My bucket. Come on. There we go. Then there's one more. So this episode, I'm not going to be building any further out because it's just platforms I'm building right now. It's not that great. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to decorate. A little home renovation. I've been planning to do it for some time, but it was just, I didn't want to do it just in this one area. So I also using my farm, which took a considerable amount of time. I got some, well, here's my leaves I have. I'm going to use them. Now I'll gather them out. There's my shovel. It's probably where it went. And I also got, no, maybe it's in the big one. There we go, stone. Yes, stone. So what I did for that, I just sat at my cobble farm, harvesting it for a good while. As you can imagine, it takes a fair bit. What I will also need is wood. I have gathered a fair bit, so I'll get some dark oak, and I'm going to need a fair bit of normal oak. So first of all, I'm going to start with some dark oak. Now I came to the idea that these platforms are a little boring around the edges. There's nothing all special. Even when I get some fences, it's a little boring, so I decided to really spice it up a little and stick these out. And I've also come to the conclusion that it looks much better how I did it on the left than on the right, simply because you can see where I did the extra pieces of wood, it just made it really fat. It didn't stick out like this corners. And next up, we need some form of a pathway. Now this is going to be the tricky bit, because not only is going to use an extensive amount of stone, but I can't exactly keep it flat. Like, I don't want the entire level to be just flat, so it's going to have little raises and stuff. So I'll say travel down to about here, and from there on I'll start building one up. So I'll do it up there. We end up with something like this, which from this direction doesn't look like all too much, a little bit weird if anything, but take a little walk upstairs, and as you can see, we now have a pathway that runs through our to-be wood farm. I know I don't have an excessive amount of dirt. For that, I'm incorporating a different concept behind this. So what I'm going to do is, first of all, I'm going to go to my crafting table, and we're going to get some oak wood. And out of this, we're going to make oak wood planks. Instead of dirt for the ground, this is what we're going to use to make it up. Next up, we need to work on the floor. I'm thinking of having it slightly higher than the pathway. So for this here, say we'll have it too high. I can then get my torch. We also, I've been thinking, how are we going to place the leaves? With the leaves, I'm thinking of, let me place them in my inventory. I'm thinking of having them just along the pathway, but I can't have it along these parts because being an odd number, it'll sit on the block above it. I'm sure you all know that. It's a little irritating sometimes. So maybe I would go from, say, up here and have a couple floating around. And then with the slabs, I'll continue along till I get to this point. I can now put some more leaves down. So a little bit of shrubbery. I'll place another 2, 3. I think that's nice there. And this one can just be plain and simple. So that's the idea behind the leaves. There'll be a lot of them around, but before we actually place leaves in properly, we need to do the wooden floor. And my god, has it turned out awesome. But it's not done yet, there's actually more to do. So first of all, we need to liven it up a little. It's a bit dull, it looks a bit like a wasteland, even though this does look like dirt from a distance. What we need is the dark oak wood, and I need to dig out some lines in a way. So say I was to go like this. So nearly there. One more. Okay. So I chop out a little bit, I get my dark oak, and I just stick it in, just to mix up the colours a little, so it'll look a lot nicer in the end. So after a little trial and error, I decided to scrap the whole dark oak wood mixed with the normal oak, which I showed just doing the design. However, whilst I scrapped that, I also finished most of everything else. I placed all the leaf blocks that I needed, and I also fixed the outside perimeter of this island farm. I'm just gonna go with epicness. So let's have a look at what we have so far. As you can see, it is quite immense. This was a lot of wood. This is stupendous amounts of wood. So lastly, for this build, there's only one thing that really is left to be done. Well, two main things. First of all being saplings. I want dark oak and my ordinary saplings. The dark oak only go in the center up the top here. This is the only spot for dark oak. So there you go here. There wasn't too many rooms. So when you look down at this, you see all the normal trees and then dark oak around the center. Well, that's the plan. I don't exactly know about tree spawning rule when they're growing. I know some of them, like jungle wood, you can't have anything beside them when they're growing. Maybe dark oak might be the same. I know it should be fine with all the oak though. As you can see, I've got little pieces of dirt just blended in everywhere. The idea was so you could not see a single piece, the side of a piece of dirt, like not one. That way, when all the trees have grown, you're only gonna see just the wood. I figured if you had the dirt really visible, it's just gonna stick out too much. So I actually haven't seen what this is gonna look like with all the trees grown. Let's wait around and find out. I wonder what it looks like. So I have finished it. Now this thing is magnificent. I am thinking this is so awesome. I am not actually going to use it as a wood farm, but just leave it there because it looks awesome. And I'm just going to have a shitty little bit of land. Oi! Oi, knock it off. And we'll have a quick look through here. So we're really going into there right now. You're not just looking from a distance. As you can see, I have all the hedges and stuff along the edge. It's going to be a fair bit of work to be done. I have been having this really bad problem with Minecraft lately. Basically, it just keeps coming with an error. Something to do with Java. So I'm going to try uninstalling and reinstalling it. And I've already tried with Minecraft. I deleted all the files and then re-downloaded them. There's a lot of hassles. Yeah, it's quite dark down there. Anyway, there's one other thing in this little area I didn't show you. I actually, during all my recording, I made it a point to try and hide it from camera and keep things off it. Okay, I've got to break that. That is just around the corner. You can also get there by just going over this little path that I walked past. Anyway, down the bottom down here, we have some vines and my bat cave. Na 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 drunken wolf.